to support your family,
right? That's right.
Financially. You know, put money away to pay for your kids and
what
all that
about
stuff.
politics? I was in a meeting one day and somebody brought your name up politically. And I said, not yet. I don't want him to beat my record. I want him to wait a little till it's 45 or 47 before he starts. I'm sorry, that should never came out publicly. Politics, man, what's going on? I heard your name a couple of times. What's going on, Izaah?
Well, Wayne, I used to be in your district.
Yes.
Districts have changed.
Yes.
And I watched those things very closely. I worked with a couple campaigns, the Clinton campaign and the Obama campaign, did a lot of good work with them. Had opportunity to meet some politicians at all levels.
Yes.
And I like it, you know. It's always there, but, you know, in due time, right? When you know me, I never want to rush anything because I want to be ready.
You always take your time.
I want to be prepared.
I watch you do that. Yeah. When we come back, we're going to do some more talking about your perception of the future of Des Moines and the black community. As I said before, y'all, he's a writing book. I mean, he's one of my heroes, and I want him to hear that. We'll be right back with Wayne Ford Wants You. Welcome back to Wayne Ford Wants You. And, you know, Rob Denson, if you're out there listening, I'm interviewing one of your best staff, D-Mac, you know, Izaah Knox. But, Rob, I had him before you had him. And would you please stop taking on my great staff? Please, Rob Denson of D-Mac, stop taking my great staff. I had to get that in there. No, me and Rob have a good relationship, and I'm glad that he can help you go to another level. Yeah. The future of Des Moines. You were just in a meeting a little while ago that I chaired, me and Rob, as our CIDC meeting that me and Rob co-host. And we're talking about overrepresentation of blacks in prison, juveniles increased detentions. All these things are going on during your time. Ours is one of the worst states in the country for black incarceration. Our parish did an article, 70% mandatory, well, a lot of blacks, and his words were, in 2012, 57% of all the 70% mandatory sentences are blacks. So the bottom line is, we're going to be highly rated #1 when you're my age. When you hear all these things, black incarceration, very challenging, or someone is following you out in the West Des Moines just because your license plate got to Chicago, or you're from Chicago and people are following you around. When you hear all the stuff that your generation is dealing with, you're going to be all right, but you got some challenges. So how you navigate, how you deal with some of the challenges of your generation?
Well, we definitely have an opportunity gap or an access gap that we need to address, and we address that with education. We got to get education started early. At that meeting, one of the ideas that was brought up was that we have tons of things to work on at the back end, but we have a lot of things that we're in the front end where we're lapsing. You know, part of my story when they talked about it in the Des Moines Register is that I was angry. And no one really asked me why was I angry when I was a young kid.
Critical point. No one asked you, Izaah?
No one asked me why I was angry. I don't know, you know, what that would have done. And people asked me too, well, if somebody wouldn't intervene back then, do you think your life would have been different? Now, Wayne, my life is perfect the way it is. I love my life, so I don't know if I would have. But we need to do some early intervention, and not just when they have a program where they're after they've been in contact with the police.
Right.
But before, very young age, that's where we need to start getting these kids.
The guy who said it works for Polk County Court, for the courthouse, Polk County Court, and he was saying, I'm going to do my job, but we as a black community need to start working toward education. I've been hearing this since I was your age. We get out there, but some of us have changed since I got old. A lot of people in my generation, some of yours, are scared of these young kids. I've been on 6th Avenue for a quarter of a century. Everybody know Wayne Ford, and they know I ain't going nowhere. But there's a fear out there of our kids, this youth, this gang mentality, this I got a Uzi. I mean, what's your thoughts? You're a younger man. It's a thing. Do you fear these young? You deal with some of the toughest kids in the state of Iowa. Do you fear these young people?
No, I don't fear them. That's one thing I think that we have in common. And you don't fear them. The only reason you fear them is because you don't know them. You don't have to sit down and talk to them.
Okay.
You don't ask them, or you weren't them.
Right.
When you were them, then you can kind of understand. I always try to put myself in their shoes. That's how I like to educate, and that's why we have a pretty high success rate over there at DMAC with getting kids their GED. And some of these kids that have been out of school for a long time have been in trouble in school since, kindergarten. Identified and labeled, and always pushed to the phrase, you know, we're hitting there like 85% getting kids their GEDs. You have to be able to say, what would I have done, or what did I need back then? What can I give them? And oftentimes it's not, they don't need to be labeled, they don't need to be accused, they don't need to be, they just need to be listened to.
Right.
And then guided in the right direction. But show by example.
Right. You mentioned that today or this week is the anniversary of Travis Martin, the kid who had the situation in Florida. As Representative Wayne Ford, I did legislation, minority impact statement, that hopefully here in Iowa, if that bill goes further, then someone would ask, let's do a minority impact statement here in Iowa about stand your ground, and let's see how that would affect minorities. That's one of my greatest pieces of legislation that I did before I left. Iowa is the first state in the country to do that. But stand your ground, young people, that's your generation. Those are some of the challenges you got. One kid in Florida got killed because, as you know, the guy told him to turn the radio down. He didn't turn the radio down, the guy shot him. You see these things going on. There's kids on the plane, biracial kids on the plane. A white man smacks the kid because the kid was crying. These are your times. These are some of your challenges you got to deal with. What's your thoughts when you hear that kind of stuff?
Well, hopefully I can lead by example by changing that perception. But like you mentioned earlier, there's not enough of us that are either willing to step forward and tell our stories and get out there and be good role models. Because
I got to ask you to stop for a minute. I want you to look at this camera right here.
Yes.
And talk to the people about there's not enough people out there like me and you, and how they can get involved and become a person like you. Just talk to the camera about some of your thoughts, because you're right. We need more warriors, man. I'm getting old. Yeah. We talk to the camera?
We definitely need more warriors out there. I'm willing to help support and facilitate that in any way. Evelyn K. Davis Center for Working Families, DMAC put on that right across the street from their urban campus on the north side, 801 University. That's a place where we have traffic every day. Urban Dreams is a place where we have traffic every day. That's how I got involved in this, is by seeing it on the news and saying, hey, I can make a difference. And I had an opportunity at that point to either continue on my path of working in corporate America or getting down there and beating the streets. And you got to find your niche. You got to find, but anybody can come down there and help. There's opportunities for, even if you don't have the same kind of story as the kids that you're dealing with, they need somebody that's going to show up, that's going to care, that's going to give them a piece of their life and hope for the future.
Wow, that was powerful, man. I really mean that. So as we close this conversation, it seems to me the easiest way is get involved. Get off your trunk and come on down, because that's how we connect. And look at you now, man. When I met you, man, you had a dreamer, but you were confused. I'm going to college, I'm doing this. I said, my God, you got all that energy. Look at you now, man. Talking about your PhD, beautiful family, and you're going to make an image to turn this community around. So I guess the easiest way is get up and come on down. We're still, whether they go with you or me, we're still both almost located on 6th Avenue after all these years. Any parting shots to regarding DMAC and education? I mean, you work for Mary Chapman and Rob. You got some extraordinary people, man. So talk about DMAC in the last minute we got. All right, well, what has it done for you?
Yeah, DMAC's done a lot. The best thing about Iowa and DMAC is the access to people. I get opportunity to sit down with the president of the university, Rob Denson. I get opportunity to sit down with vice presidents, Dr. Chapman, Greg Martin, all this stuff, access. And it's about showing up, working hard, being prepared when it's your time.
Excellent. Well, what can I say, man? This is like, you are one of my heroes, brother, because you're one of the few people who put up and backed it up. And where I come from, that's the total thing about being a black man. It's to feel for the community and to risk your life to make it better. I'm going to shake your hand again.
Thank you, brother.
As I said many times before, y'all, there's many journeys. And I'm at the age now where I got many stories out there. But a lot of people who I was their hero, now they're becoming my hero, and I feel very good about that. Feel very good and emotional about that. We'll be right back with Wayne Ford Wants You. Welcome back to Wayne Ford Wants You. Yes, indeed. If you want to get in contact with Izaah, learn more about DMAC, Izaah, what information can you give the public?
You can go to the website, dmac.edu. Our phone number at the Evelyn K. Davis Center for Working Families is 515-697-7700. That's 697-7700.
Excellent. As I said before, our community has a lot of young people. They love ours. They love the born. Baby boomers, you've been around for a long time. Sometimes we slow down progress. I was told by a great political leader a little while ago, Wayne, start passing it on to a younger generation. You know what? My ego is down because I see young men and there's young ladies in this community who are going to take this community over. I feel good passing it on. Until next time, remember, Wayne Ford wants you.